Welcome back. We follow their fashion trends, listen to their music, and see whatever blockbuster they're starring in. So why not check out their real estate investments? Even if you can't own similar digs, you can learn the strategies they use in cornering the hottest real estate properties on the market. Joining us now for a look at where the stars live is Paul Purcell. You've seen him here before, president of Braddock and Purcell. Welcome back.
Thanks. It's good to be here again.
I love this topic. It's just too much fun.
It's great. America loves it as well.
Let's talk about Madonna for a minute, because I've lived in New York a long time. She's had an apartment here she's had forever.
Yes.
Was that a good investment?
Madonna is probably one of the smartest and most savvy real estate investors I think of any of the stars I see. She buys very intelligently. She buys great stuff, quality. I can't say that she did this as a child or as a young person, but today she buys really great quality things. And you're right, she bought this apartment on Central Park West, Harper Lee Hall, in the early 90s, as a matter of fact.
Do you know what she paid for it?
She paid just in the very low millions, a couple of $1 million for it.
Oh my gosh, you can't even get an average apartment now in New York City for that amount. I wanted to point out 6,500 square feet of space.
A duplex.
Now, in the rest of the country, that's a very big house.
That's a substantial home.
Here, it's enormous.
It's enormous for New York standards. When we live in, if we get 1,000 square feet, we're thrilled. So she has 6.5 times the average apartment in New York City.
Of course, she spends a lot of time in London now.
Yes.
Where's she living there, Paul?
In London, she has a home just off of Oxford Street in the West End of London that is a townhouse, a freehold townhouse estate that's quite beautiful, naturally an older home. I think it has 8 bedrooms, 28-foot drawing room, 5 other reception rooms, gardens, a garage, and staff quarters. They say that it's not an incredibly grand house. It sounds grand by my standards, but that it's quite a beautiful home and quite livable. And it's literally right on the sidewalk and right on the street. You could walk up on the door and knock at her door.
Wow. So probably the tours go right by that.
Right.
She's also got this huge estate now with Guy Ritchie, her husband, correct? Tell us about that.
20,000 acres. It's called
20,000 acres.
It's an English estate. It's called Ashcombe, and it's in the countryside outside of London. This home was owned by Cecil Beaton, and he, for those of you who don't know, was famous as the photographer of the royal family. He did everybody in the royal family over the years, and he also did set design for movies, and he was famous for the Ascot race scene in My Fair Lady. And so you can imagine what this house looked like. It was just spectacular, spectacular. A small Georgian house that he turned into a glorious manor house that probably was built hundreds and hundreds of years ago. Paid $20 million, I think, for that.
Let's talk about Ozzy Osbourne.
Yes.
The Osbournes. Everybody wants to know about them. We've seen their house on TV, right?
Yeah.
So tell us about their property and their investments.
You know, they don't have substantial investments. They have 3 primary residences. They have good stuff, though. Clearly, they're in a great neighborhood in Beverly Hills, Doheny. They're in a house that, and I don't mean to denigrate it at all, but it's sort of like a Beverly Hills McMansion.
Okay.
It's big
normal.
house.
It's normal for there.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yes, about 11,000 square feet on probably just a little over of a half acre, which is a little tight, but that's the Beverly Hills standards. Are you? And it, you know, sort of glamorous pool and the waterfall out back, and everyone has seen the inside of the house from the show, and it's really rock and roll, but it's a home. You know, it's really their home.
And do they have another home in London or outside London in the countryside?
They have a home outside London that, again, is sort of their roots are obviously they're English, and it is a manor house. It's the scene of where Ozzy had his accident on that
driving, right?
Yes, exactly, and really
We're
had a
seeing
serious
pictures
accident.
here of the family in situ.
Stables, gorgeous manor house, gatekeeper's cottage that they use for offices, and a lot of acreage. So
I've got to get you quickly to Sarah Jessica Parker. Now, everybody knows her from Sex and the City, but she really is a New Yorker. She and her husband both. They live here. Tell us about their place.
Well, it's interesting. The houses aren't that sexy.
No?
No, they're beautiful. She has a townhouse on Charles Street in the West Village, which is, you know, this beautiful area of New York, low buildings, all townhouses. Anyone who's buying one is putting it back as a single-family home, which is what they did. It was multiple residences. They bought it in the year 2000 for about $3 million, 4,500 square feet. They have turned it back into a pristine home that is absolutely beautiful.
We're looking at that now. Gorgeous.
It's just precious.
This is a very big deal in New York City, I should say, because that is a ton of dough, a house like that.
$3 million then. Renovation, probably $6 million today.
Okay.
Amazing.
Anything else they own? Do they own other houses?
Bridgehampton, New York.
Okay.
And as I said, they don't have a lot of holdings, and there it's a little Victorian farmhouse right in the village of Bridgehampton. Paid about $1.3 million for it, so not a big ticket by the Hampton standards. Very much a home, very sweet and very charming. Porches and all that.
Paul, you've got to tell us, how do you do your research on this? How do you track these stars?
That's an interesting question. Well, on a personal note, I actually looked at Sarah Jessica Parker's home in the Hamptons to buy for myself.
Well, that's a good
I was
way to
in
get
that
an
house.
insider's view.
Right. Madonna's house came on the market in 1996 in the city, took it off the market. She brought it on the market about $6 million. I had the opportunity to go in and see it. And then I talked to real estate brokers and do my homework.
You always do your homework, and we love having you on the show. Paul Purcell, thank you.
Thank you.
And thanks for watching Open House. We hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you here again on